Hi, I'm Ellis George, play Courtney Woods, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.
This is Paul McGann, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.
The tangents and squeak continue all the way to episode number 36 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. If you bring up my former sins around my son again, you'll find yourselves across that town line faster than you can say costume jewelry. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week by going around the virtual table and see who has joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Port Pierce. This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City. This is Holly from Wisconsin.
This is Mitch in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone. We are all here. Yay!
Yay!
Although I am holding on by a thread. I will apologize in advance. My throat is sore, my voice is going, I'm sneezing, I'm coughing, I'm snorting, I've got terrible allergies and a combination of that and con crud. If you were following me on social media, though, you know why, and you know that it was awesome. But we will get into that next week. So you will have to wait to hear all of the enticing, juicy details for another week. So with that, let's jump into news.
All right, our first bit of news. Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk launch an Indiegogo campaign for Con Man. Firefly alum Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion are re-teaming for a new web series, Con Man. The series has Tudyk and Fillion playing the pilot and captain, respectively, from a science fiction television series that was unceremoniously canceled by its network after a very brief run. Sound familiar? The series focuses on the actors' experiences after their show's cancellation as they make their way into the convention circuit. As Tudyk explains in the campaign's video, outsiders often think that science fiction fans are the weirdest part about a convention, when, in truth, the strangest characters can be found behind the scenes. It's Tudyk and Fillion's own experiences that will fuel the series' comedy. That sounds like it could be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently they hit their goal within the first 12 hours.
Oh, I believe it.
It doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Brown coats
so there
unite.
is a short, 4 or 5 minute scene that they released. That they filmed from the first episode, and it's Alan Tudyk's character in the men's room of the airport when he's going to going between conventions, and there's a fan in the next stall who tries to get him to sign a magazine. He slips it under the stall door, and it's hilarious. And his character's like, I'm kind of in the bathroom.
Busy.
Can this wait? Yeah, I'm kind of busy right now.
What's sad is I'm sure that's probably happened.
So if that's any indication of what this series is going to be like, yeah, it's going to be hilarious.
We may have not mentioned it when we did our convention episode, but since we probably didn't, here's a little piece of advice. If a celebrity's in the bathroom with you, don't approach them while they're on the toilet.
Wait. Yeah, so
they may be a captive audience. But
some things you think would go without saying, but apparently not.
Because you know it's happened to someone. It may not have actually happened to Alan Tudyk, but it's probably happened to someone he knows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. The bathroom, some things should be left sacred, and the bathroom is one
of them. Yeah.
I don't
think
care
he
who
even
you are.
says that in the clip. I think he says that in the clip.
You heard it here first, folks.
My schedule.
Yeah.
Glenn.
Yeah. You can use the bathroom the same time as said celebrities. Just don't approach them.
Yes. When you're at a galley, and there's the restrooms that everybody has to use, whether you're a guest or con goer. And,
Yep.
It's just awkward. Just a bit. Anyway.
There's your PSA for the evening. So.
Oh, you know.
Emphasis on the P. Sorry.
Oh dear. Okay, before we go down that line.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I am sleep deprived. That's my only excuse. But moving on.
Okay. Next bit of news is that the trailer for the Netflix Daredevil series has been released. Those created by Everett. Marvel's Daredevil is a lot.
Oh, Brittany, you're cutting out, dear.
Uh-oh.
I was worried that it was my internet that was.
No, that seems to be Brittany was having technical difficulties before we started recording, so
Lost her.
she's been trying to claw and stay out of the vortex, but apparently it wasn't. She's not been successful, so we've just lost Brittany. So I'm sure she will pop back in. But what she was trying to say is that there is a new trailer for the Netflix Daredevil series, which, if you know anything about Daredevil, it's the story of an attorney, Matt Murdock, who goes blind and uses his enhanced other senses to help fight crime, because he is in Hell's Kitchen in New York, which is a tough neighborhood. So he's a lawyer by day and masked vigilante at night. And Ben Affleck is nowhere to be seen whatsoever with this, so...
Which to some people is very good news.
Hey, she's back!
Yay!
We stepped up for the plate for you. We stepped up to the plate for you.
Oh, thank you.
So, but that starts on April 10th. On Netflix, and as best we can figure, the entire first season will be available right away.
Originals, they do that so people can just mainline if they want to.
It, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what Netflix is for. Is they're all there. And watch the whole thing. So.
Binge watch. Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Woohoo! So. I'm looking forward to it, because from what they've said, that these Marvel-related Netflix series are part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So as far as canon and everything goes, it fits. So you probably want to watch, just in case.
And there were pictures floating around of David Tennant going to the Marvel offices, and he's going to be in AKA Jessica Jones. So there was a lot of that going on too, as well as his convention appearance, which it's been Conpalooza this weekend. It seems like
everybody's officially started.
Yes.
Oh, indeed, indeed.
Oh.
The biggest question I have for this series is, when is Stan Lee going to pop up?
Yeah. Oh, you'll have to watch and see. Not
a question of if, it's when.
When. Exactly. And since you can mainline it, you don't have to wait. You just have to wait long enough till you see his face.
Agonizing, wait till the next episode. I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
In 2 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Or 3 weeks. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thanks a lot, CW, Flash, and Arrow. I've been waiting almost a month. Although it's allowed me to get caught up on a few things, because I've been falling behind.
Oh.
But anyway, Arrow is one of the things I still need to get caught up on, as well as Elementary and Flash and...
Well, yeah. Well, they've been on mini hiatus for the past 3 weeks, so they're coming back this week, I believe.
Tuesday. Yeah, and I don't know why, because they had... It wasn't like they had something special going on at the time, because they had reruns of both Arrow and Flash. It's like, what's up?
I have no idea.
Maybe it's because they knew maybe it's because they knew they had that Paley Fest this weekend, and they wanted to have that first. So maybe they could give like those people that got to attend that like a sneak peek or something.
Oh, true. Maybe show them that episode for this coming week. And
I don't think they showed them the episode. I think they just showed them the little teaser of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was watching the panel. Now, with the Outlander panel, they did show the full episode, but Outlander's been gone for like 5 months, and we've been sitting here going, help!
Yes.
But it's coming back in
I didn't
April,
even realize
finally.
it was only. I didn't even realize it was just half. That was just the first half of this. I thought the.
Yep, that's the first half of the season. And they put us on break since, what was it, September, October? It's been a long wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ridiculously long. Stupid stars. Anyway, we probably got to keep going.
Speaking of waiting for stuff and anticipating, Disney had their annual shareholders meeting, which is it's fun yet frustrating at the same time, because the shareholders meeting, you can attend it in person, but that's usually like the real like higher ups and select people. But they stream the audio online, so anybody can listen to it live, even if you're not a shareholder. But any sort of like, if they show like a trailer or a clip of anything, they don't play the audio for that in the stream. You have to have been there to be able to see any sort of presentations. So you can hear like Bob Iger talk
for actually attending.
Yeah. But you can hear like Bob Iger talk, but the minute he's all like, "Oh, I'm going to show you a clip of this," it's just generic like Disney music and a little thing on the screen that says that the shareholder meeting will resume shortly. So it's fun but frustrating at the same time.
I guess there's perks of being a Disney shareholder. You actually get to see the clips.
Yeah, well, a shareholder that's able to attend, I guess. But there were some announcements made, including several movie-related announcements. So if you're not sick of it already, and if you are sick of it, I'm so sorry, but we're getting another Frozen movie.
Yay!
Frozen is getting a proper sequel, not just the short that played in front of Cinderella, but a full-fledged feature-length sequel to Frozen. So if you're not,
happy day, and they're getting
they're bringing back a lot of the team that worked on the first one. As far as filmmaking goes, Josh Gad has already said he's coming back as Olaf. They haven't announced a date or anything or any other details, but pretty much John Lasseter said that they enjoyed making the mini Frozen Fever so much that that they really wanted to figure out a way to bring these characters back for another movie, and they came up with an idea for a sequel. So we're getting more Anna and Elsa and Olaf and Kristoff and So.
And I did see Kristen Bell tweet. I don't know if this is confirmation that she's coming back, but she did tweet something to the effect of, it was like dreams come true, and she hashtagged it with Frozen 2 or something, and it was a picture of her asleep on a bag of ice on a pillow. It was cute. So this is my thing with Frozen 2. Because they have I think because they have been treating it they have been treating it the way they have, and making sure they for the little short that they got all the actors back and things. I think they're going to make sure. Now, okay, hold on. Let me start over. I'm not thinking before I speak, but I know what I want to say. I think the way I feel about it is, I don't think they would have made this if they didn't have a story to tell. I don't think this is a cash grab. I think this is, because I felt like at the end of Frozen, I thought, okay, yeah, there is more story here. There's more to do with these characters, and I think they can do it. So I'm like, even if I, as an audience member, can see that, and if they can, and obviously any kind of sequel or follow up that they were going to do is going to get the green light, because heck yeah, it's Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
It made them a boatload of money. and it's a really good movie, and the characters are just awesome, and the writing is phenomenal.
And the songs are catchy?
The songs are catchy, and everybody loves it, whether you're a kid, adult, whatever. And I don't care. And there's a lot of people that are saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of it." But I think that's just sort of the knee-jerk reaction of, "Oh, I have to say this because now it's being overplayed." And but I'm like, there's a reason that it's being played over and over. It's because it is so good. And it deserves the exposure and the attention. And there's a difference between like Frozen getting all the hype and something like Transformers or Twilight getting all the hype. Or pick your favorite thing that you hate.
Yeah,
I don't know. But Frozen is actually good quality. It deserves it. So I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah.
For now.
I will say that it's, again, I'll talk about the convention in detail next week's show, but one of the guests was Livy, and I'm going to butcher her last name. It's like Stubenbach, and she was the voice of young Anna. She was one of the guests, and she had so many people waiting in line to meet her and get a picture and get an autograph, and it was from tiny little kids, boys and girls, to full-fledged adults without any children with them.
Oh, cool.
Wanting to meet her. And while I was waiting in line and to meet someone else, as I was getting close to the front, and I could see, and there was this tiny little girl who probably was like 4 years old, and she was dressed in a bell dress. But she was standing there and talking to Livy, and they started to sing, "Do You Want to Build a Snowman?" It was so cute. So, yeah, no, Frozen is not going anywhere. So.
Nor should it.
Nor should it. Oh. But for those of you that have a different taste than Frozen, we got some Star Wars news as well. They announced one of the Star Wars spin-offs, not one of the mainline movies, called Star Wars Rogue One. It's going to be a standalone film. It's going to be released December of next year. And it's going to star Felicity Jones, who was in The Theory of Everything, and is going to be directed by Gareth Edwards. But it is going to be, they're calling it a unique series of, the standalones, a unique series of adventures that explores the characters and events beyond the core Star Wars saga.
I wonder if that's not going to deal with Rogue Squadron at all.
It might.
Because I've read some of the extended universe, and they did have a Rogue Squadron X-Wing series of books, so I'm wondering if that's
always a possibility. Well,
that would be cool.
Yeah. And then we also got go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, back when they were working on what is canon and what to include in their new canon and stuff, maybe that was one that they said, hey, yeah, we'll use this.
Yeah. Well, as far as I know, like any of like the books and anything are considered canon because they got George Lucas's blessing.
Okay.
So.
So if I remember right,
if they're pulling it from the books, then it should be canon, or it will be now.
If I remember right, Star Wars, the books can only be published if they got George Lucas's permission, or am I thinking of a different?
That may be a possibility. So I mean, I'm sure
that sounds right. I think that's
yeah.
That sounds true.
Yeah, that sounds like George Lucas.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
now he's out of the picture.
Yeah. Well, he still gets a nice fat check. So.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah. And then you can also mark your calendars. May 26th, 2017, Star Wars Episode 8. Woohoo! So you're not gonna. We're getting 3 years of solid Star Wars. So.
and people will be happy that
I'm not
this
gonna
one will be in May, because a lot of people were like, Star Wars isn't a Christmas movie, or a movie to. It's a summer release. It's not a winter release.
Yeah.
That was a lot of people were complaining, because all the other Star Wars movies came out in May, June. That summer blockbuster time. So.
Yeah. Well, and Episode 7, The Force Awakens, is still on track to release at Christmas time this year. So, as far as Disney's
certain
concerned,
people crashing into the golf course.
Yeah. We can laugh about it because he's okay.
Yes, that is true. Oh, the memes that were flying around.
Oh, I know. One of my favorites. One of my favorites, and obviously, I think most people didn't start posting memes until they knew that he was actually okay and was going to live and all that. But one of my favorite comments I saw after the news broke that Harrison had crashed his plane and it was on a golf course is he made the back 9 in 12 parsecs.
Nice.
That and all the comments about, if you're going to crash your plane, it might as well be in a golf course. There'll be plenty of doctors to attend to you.
Yeah, that's one I saw.
Or there was a picture of someone photoshopping Boba Fett in front of the crash.
Yeah.
Oh, now we know who's responsible.
or the shots from Indiana Jones and Last Crusade when it's like Sean Connery's all like, Junior, do you know how to fly this thing? He's like, fly, yes. Land, no.
No. Yeah. But yes, we are glad Harrison is
just
okay,
fine. He'll make a full recovery, and that's why we can joke and laugh about it.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Anyway, further on in news, if we're ready.
Yes.
This just broke, I think, yesterday. Salt Lake Comic-Con tickets, they are on sale for past supporters and those who have supported the online communities. There's a special. I actually got this email because I've bought tickets before. But there's a special code that you put in on their website that will allow you you can buy your tickets for 30% off. And also, if you're a college student and you have this code, you also get an extra, I can't remember if it's 10 or 15% on top of the 30%. So you get get your tickets for pretty cheap if you are a student. And so if you want to go to Salt Lake Comic-Con, it is September 24th through the 26th this year, and they have a little extra time to get stuff together. There's a letter from the head cheeses in charge, Dan Farr and Brian Brandenburg. It's on their website, and we'll put a link in our show notes. And they were just talking about this is called the loyalty launch. So they're saying that this push is going to help them get more guests and more attractions for the September event. So that's why they're doing this early, and also, as a thank you for people who've supported them in the past and everything. And it's also on their Facebook page. So if you follow them on Facebook, the code is there. I kind of feel like it's cheating to give it out on the podcast. But, I mean, it's not like it's a secret. If you follow them on Facebook or Tumblr or Twitter or whatever, I think they've been giving it out. But, yeah, so this is – and it sounds like they're trying to just totally do away with registration lines. So they're encouraging people to buy tickets early because they're saying if you buy them at the door, you'll have to pay an extra $10 on top of the retail price. So basically what they're saying is if you buy them, the earlier you buy them, the cheaper they're going to be. I mean, they're not cheap in the traditional sense, but you're still getting a pretty good deal.
And based
they haven't even announced any.
Yeah, I was saying, even without guests, based on Salt Lake Comic-Con's, past guest list, there's going to be somebody good that you're going to want to see. So
they've gotten. I mean, even at this past Fan X where it was a lot smaller, they had people like Carrie Fisher, and they had the Doctor Who guests. They had Matt Smith, Billy Piper, and Karen Gillan. I just totally blanked on her name.
The ginger one.
Tom Felton was there. Yeah. Yeah, so they're good at getting really good guests. And so if you have been there, and even when there have been mistakes and they have screwed up in the past, they fix it. Like, if not that day, the next day, and they learn from and it's becoming a really good convention. So anyway, that's me again patting Salt Lake Comic-Con on the back because I love them and they're awesome. And even though they're like freaking huge, they're just, it's amazing. So anyway, loyalty launch. Thanks, guys. It's gonna be awesome. So tickets are on sale. And then I guess also, as I don't know if this is part of news, I did see Cinderella over the weekend. I just wanted to give a quick, along with Frozen Fever.
Yeah. Speaking of Frozen.
And, speaking of Frozen, yeah. I just want to give just a little short-ish review of it. With this new trend that Disney apparently has with remaking their animated movies into live action, because they had Maleficent before, and now they've got Cinderella, and Beauty and the Beast is coming up, and apparently Tim Burton is going to direct Dumbo.
Yeah,
first question of
that's going to be.
The first question there is who's Johnny Depp going to play?
Yeah.
My bet on that, he's going to play the little mouse. That's his capacity.
And will Helena Bonham Carter still make an appearance even though she and Tim Burton broke up?
In the pink outfits, he's going to be more
disturbing
than the original.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
we'll discuss that later. Anyway, Cinderella. Well, first, okay, so it has the Frozen Fever short, and basically it is just it's basically a prolonged musical number because they have a new song with it. It's about they're having Anna's birthday, and Elsa is like going all out to make this the most perfect day because she's missed all of Anna's birthdays because Anna has been knocking on the door and Elsa shut herself off and all. And this new song that they've done, it's called was it The Most Perfect Day? I should have looked this up. But yeah, you can buy that. You can buy it on iTunes. It's not quite Let It Go, but it's still pretty cute. And this little short, it's just meant to be a cute little, hey, we're back in Arendelle, and it's really sweet. And then Elsa's got a cold, but her cold it results in these little tiny snowmen popping up, and they look like it's like a big marshmallow, and then little marshmallows for feet, and then they've got little black eyes and noses, and they're just so cute. And I'm like, oh, that's gonna be the next big toy, the next big plushie is these little tiny snowmen. So as she's singing to Anna, and they're like winding their way through the palace, and she's got all these little surprises for Anna. And she sneezes, and every time she sneezes, 3 or 4 or 5 of these little guys pop up, and they're running off and causing mischief. And Kristoff and Sven and Olaf are trying to keep the big party area nice for Anna, but the little snowmen keep showing up and causing problems. And it is just so cute and adorable. And then so anyway, I won't spoil it because you just have to watch it. And I just laughed through the whole thing. And my friend that I went to go see the movie with, she's not as big a fan of Frozen as I am, mostly because her little brother has played it over and over and over and over again, and she is one of those that's about sick of it. And I'm like, give me more. Like, come here. So I didn't relish in it as much as I usually would have. But anyway, Cinderella. This one, it is straight up fairy tale. Like we've had Once Upon a Time where they take the fairy tale twists and where it's like making it more true to life, or it's a little more cynical in some respects. But this one, it is you've seen the Disney animated Cinderella. It is this just live action. And where that could have been kind of campy and cheesy and you wouldn't take it seriously, somehow they make it work. It's very stylized, like the colors and the costumes especially are absolutely gorgeous. Like, if they don't at least get an Oscar nomination for this movie, there is no justice in this world at all. It is, yeah. The acting is pretty good. I mean, it's very, like I said, it's very fairy tale stylized. It's directed by Kenneth Branagh, who is, very Shakespearean, so he really brings that classical thing to it. I know that's a technical term. Let's see. So Lily James is Cinderella, and she's been in Downton Abbey, if you guys watched that. But I also didn't realize that Sophie McShera was in it, who is also in Downton Abbey, and she plays in Downton Abbey. She plays one of the downstairs cooks. She works in the kitchen, and which is kind of funny in this because Lily James's character on Downton Abbey is one of the Crawley family. She's like their cousin, so she's sort of, she's one of the sisters in a way. So it's funny that those two characters are now where, the one was the rich girl and the other was the servant. Now they've swapped roles, which is kind of fun. Because Sophie plays one of the stepsisters, and I didn't realize it until I saw the movie. She'd been in the trailers, and I was like, and then I was watching the movie. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Daisy. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of cool to see that. Yeah, the stepsisters are utterly ridiculous, which they are in the animated movie. So that's part of the course. Cinderella does have little mice friends, and they don't talk, but they have personalities. She talks to animals, which is cute. I do like what they did with the Prince Charming character, because, well, there was nowhere else to go with him but actually give him personality and a character. None in the original animated movie, because it was like, I don't even remember if he talked. Well, he might have a little bit.
He does.
Yeah, when she runs away.
Yeah, that's about it.
I don't even know your name.
That's about it. Yeah, all the anyway. But he's actually given more of a kind of a storyline, and he has a name. His name is Kit. But throughout the story, it is, he always says, like, that's what his father calls him. So I'm wondering that it must be short for something, but it never says. Maybe there's a deleted scene. Let's see. Cate Blanchett is the evil stepmother, and she's fantastic, just awesome. I always butcher his name, but it's Will Turner's dad. Is the Grand Duke, and he's actually kind of a bit of a villain in this. Whereas in the movie, the animated movie, the Grand Duke's kind of a well-meaning but bumbling dork. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that Skarsgård?
Yeah, him. But I can't ever.
What's his face from Thor and the Avengers and all that? It's the same guy, right?
Oh yeah, that's him. I just
Selvig, Eric
Selvig.
Yeah.
Selvig, yeah. He's also Will Turner's dad in
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Blah, blah. Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like, the Thing.
Yes.
The other one. Oh boy, I'm really batting 1,000 tonight. So, and then Helena Bonham Carter is the fairy godmother, which she did. She's only in the one scene, but she's also the narrator of the story. I liked it. One of the nice touches.
Did she get to do the song?
She did say "bibbidi bobbidi boo" as part of the spell, but that's about it.
So that's all we can ask for.
There was one thing that just that really bothered me. So when she does the thing, she turns the pumpkin into a carriage, and the animals are the coachman and the footman, and the mice are the horses, and then she's giving Cinderella her pretty ball gown, and so she's like, okay, spin around. And she's, doing the magic, and it's very sparkly and pretty, and there's butterflies. And Cinderella spins. She will, spin one way, and then she'll stop and spin the other direction. And then spin the other direction. and then spin the other direction. And it's very distracting because I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I don't know who decided to make you a washing machine, but this is kind of weird. It takes away, in my opinion, because it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be this really pretty moment, like, she's in her ragged dress that they've all torn up and everything, and so she's spinning around, and there's this blue magic, and it's so pretty and lovely, but the way she's moving, it's just so distracting. I'm like, why did you do that? I have no idea what the purpose of this was. Like, just twirl like a princess. You don't have to make it complicated. Like, pick a direction. I don't care which one. Just do one. Like, she was so confused which way she was going. So it kind of ruined the moment, which is sort of a big moment in the story. But whatever. The glass slippers were gorgeous. I don't know how she walked them. I don't know that she did, but ooh, they were pretty. So she goes to the ball, and it is just, stop my heart. It's beautiful. And then also forgot to mention, there is a scene toward the beginning where she meets the prince. If you've ever seen Ever After, it's kind of like that, in a way, where she meets the prince before, but she doesn't ever tell him her name. And so in that way, it's very, very fairy tale where it's, there are these things that like normal people would think of, but fairy tale characters don't think about it for some reason. And he sees her at the ball, and and they spend the entire ball together, and she never tells him her name, but that's okay. And so the story. The midnight strikes midnight, and she runs back out, and then
loses a shoe.
We have to go. Yeah, and the carriage turns back into a pumpkin, and everybody turns back into what they were before, and Cinderella is just like, I'm glad to have had the experience, and she keeps the one glass slipper, and it's like, they're just good memories that they'll fade over time, like my good memories of my parents, because she had this charmed childhood as a young girl, and then the prince. There's like this really heart-wrenching moment with his father because his father is dying. And this is what I was kind of alluding to with giving the prince a backstory and giving him a personality and, someone that you could actually cheer for. And he just, he's just totally buried in his grief when his father dies. And I'm just like, oh, you poor thing. And so he's even more determined to find this girl, this mystery princess, and so he has the shoe, he has the other shoe, and everybody is coming to, try, and there's a very funny sequence when they're all looking for the whoever this slipper belongs to, and everything. So, and the ending, I think it's very satisfying. It's the same as the original, yet very different. In that they also give the stepmother a little bit of a backstory, not too much to overwhelm the fairy tale aspect of it, but enough that in some ways you feel sorry for her, but at the same time it's like feeling sorry for Rumpelstiltskin in Once Upon a Time, because
we'll get to that.
These villains have had tragic pasts, but that doesn't excuse the poor choices that they've made, and so you're okay with cheering against them, even though you understand why they did it. But it's like, you could have done that different. You could have done better. You still suck. Mm-hmm. And so it ends happily ever after, and etc. And it's a cute movie. It's definitely not, if you are a fairy tale cynic, you won't enjoy this, because there are all these little nitpicky things like when honest trailers and how it should have ended and CinemaSins do their thing on this movie. They will tear it apart mercilessly, because they just don't. Well, how it should have ended is more kind. But CinemaSins, especially, if he ever tackles this, he is just going to be brutal on this one, and I almost don't want him to do it, because that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is to be a straight up fairy tale.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Mitch?
Well, he'd probably bring up the same thing you did about the spinning one way than the other.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing about that was, like, it's distracting. Like, whose directorial choice was that, Brana? Who did that? But anyway, so yeah, I mean, but it's a really cute movie. You know, just go see it with your kids. Go see it with just yourself. It's a good movie. It's a lot better than I think Maleficent was, whereas Maleficent was supposed to be like a retelling from the villain's point of view, and we ultimately just didn't care. Cinderella is, this is the Cinderella story. We know it, and we love it, and we love it because of what the story is a girl goes from rags to riches and has impossible odds, and she gets her happy ending. And that happy ending happens to be true love, and that's all right.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah, it's a cute movie. And then just one little quick P.S., because I saw these afterward. If you know who Linda Lee Rose is, she's a kid interviewer, kid reporter. She is most well known for her videos about Doctor Who. She's like 6 or 7 years old, very young, and she's the most adorable thing you'll ever see on the planet. And she got to go to the Cinderella premiere, and there's a video of her interviewing the people, stars on the red carpet, and all the actors and actresses who were in Cinderella were just so sweet with her. Like her little interview with Sophie McShira is just the cutest thing, and she interviews Richard Madden, who plays Prince Charming, and she's like totally starstruck over him. And there's one other little video, and she explains in her video that Richard Madden, and she calls him Prince Charming all through the thing. It's so cute. She's like, Prince Charming is kind of dating, or she says, is dating Jenna Coleman. They're like boyfriend and girlfriend. So Jenna Coleman was a premiere. And so while Linda Lee is interviewing Richard Madden, and he is like so cute with her because she's dressed as Cinderella, and she's got these little clear shoes on. They're supposed to be glass slippers. And he does the whole Prince Charming put her shoe on. It is so adorable. So she's interviewing Richard Madden, and like she turns, and you don't see what she's looking at, but it says on the captions in the video, and Linda Lee sees Jenna Coleman, and she just totally forgets about Richard Madden and runs to Jenna Coleman and just leaps, and Jenna gives her this big hug, and it's like, they're best buds, and because she's interviewed Jenna before, but it's like she saw Jenna Coleman, or she saw Clara from Doctor Who, and that was her big happy thing from going to the Cinderella premiere. And there's a really cute picture of her, Jenna, and Richard at the thing, and Richard was so funny because he's like, I just can't compete.
So you may be Prince Charming, she's the impossible girl.
Yes, yeah, it's like Doctor Who companion trumps Prince Charming in this case. I'm sorry, dude.
Every day.
You tried admirably, and you did well, but when Jenna shows up, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
All bets are off.
So anyway, so that was Cinderella, and it's a good movie.
Cool. I was on the fence about whether I should go see it or if I should wait till it's like in the dollar theater, if I should wait till it comes out on, like rental or what. But so far, everybody I know that's seen it is like, oh, it's so good. So I may have to.
Yeah, it's worth.
Get my butt to the movie theater.
Maybe not like full price. Yeah, maybe not full price on a weekend, but definitely a weekday matinee or something, whatever you can swing. But it's a cute movie. It's really good, especially if you like Disney and fairy tales, and it's very very Disney, which I like. So there you go.
Cool. Yay. Well, thank you for that. And then speaking of Disney movies, don't forget we have Marvel with Friends coming up this coming Saturday as of where we're recording. We're recording Sunday the 15th, so this coming Saturday the 21st, we will be watching Iron Man 3 for Marvel with Friends. So 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hashtag Marvel with Friends, hashtag Iron Man 3. And then also, at this point, since we're doing Iron Man 3, you may want to reference our schedule on our blog on the website, because now that we've reached post-Avengers, with Iron Man 3 if you want, and I will be doing this, so feel free to do this if you want. It's not mandatory at all, and we're not going to be doing any sort of tweet-alongs with it, although I may tweet while I'm watching, just for the fun of it. But you want to start watching the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after next Saturday to see how the storylines fit in. So, and we have up on the full schedule, the Marvel Friends schedule, up on the blog, and we'll post a link to it in the show notes for this week's show as well.
How many episodes you should watch?
How many? Yeah, it'll be after Iron Man 3. Between that and when we watch Thor: The Dark World, you'll want to watch episodes 1 through 8. So after next Saturday, you will have 2 weeks to watch the first 8 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Should you choose to.
Should you choose to.
I think I'm going to do that.
I think I will too. I started to rewatch season 1 and then got distracted by something else, like Once Upon a Time or something, and haven't gone back to it. So, and I only got like 2 episodes in, so it's not a big deal. So, but yeah, it'll be fun to watch it connect without the big gap in between, because it's like, Iron Man 3 came out, and then it was still, like, Iron Man 3 was like a summer release. It came out in like May or something, and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started in like August, so I knew the connection, but Iron Man 3 was already kind of fuzzy in my brain, so I couldn't quite make the connection at first. But then with Thor, and then Captain America Winter Soldier, it was a real, like, close connect, but it'll be nice to have them connect and not have that big old gap. So it'll be all nice and fresh.
So, well, I got the Iron Man 3 DVD waiting for me at the library.
Woohoo!
By probably Monday, pick that up.
So for those of you that don't have Iron Man 3, this is your warning to find it.
Warning.
Get that.
Yeah.
Get that and get ready to tweet along.
Yep. So, should be fun. But moving along, like we mentioned last week, we're going to talk about Once Upon a Time, and we will preface this by saying that not all of us have seen tonight's episode, so we will not be talking about the 3rd episode of the second half of season 4. I don't even know what proper episode number that is.
That's episode 14. It's called Enter the Dragon.
Yeah,
so
not all of us have seen that. So
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so we won't be talking about that.
That's why I'm kind of calm.
Yeah. So we
no
will.
Spoilers, friend.
Yeah, we'll mostly touch on the 4B premiere and then some of the second episode, and then be at that. So that's more than enough for us to rant about, I think. So.
Indeed.
And obviously, we already covered what happened in the first half of season 4 on an earlier podcast. So go back and listen to that if you want to hear where we left all that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's very well separated out between the two halves of the season, because this one is very much 6 weeks later, 6 weeks after Rumple gets out of Storybrooke, and and the episode kind of opens up with that is that. Well, no, I can't remember what it opens up with, but when you go to Storybrooke and you see what's going on there, you see everybody's just kind of going about their normal day. Regina is sending Henry off to school. Mary Margaret has gone back to teaching, and so Regina is back to being the mayor. Hallelujah. I don't know. Mayor Snow White just kind of was not doing it for me.
So it was like Mary Margaret on like maternity leave from the school, and that's why she was able to do her mayoral duties when she was temporary mayor, or was like school on break or something.
Well,
or what?
It's kind of a crappy maternity leave if you end up being getting leave from being a school teacher and then you become mayor.
Well, yeah,
of the town. I know, but That's a very good question. I hadn't thought of that. Well, because I don't know.
Yeah. We may never know.
This whole second curse thing is kind of screwed up a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I love Regina's fireball getting rid of the bluebird painting at the mayor's office.
Oh yeah, that's like, oh yes, she's back. So it's kind of it's good that Regina didn't spend a lot of time, grieving and moping about Robin Hood being back. Although I miss him so much.
I know.
Oh. But he is coming back. There is an episode coming up. I don't know which one, but I do know there's a Robin Hood centric episode on the horizon somewhere.
It looks like Roland
it's not
will
the
be
next
back
one.
too.
Yes, Roland will be back and it'll be good. So anyway, so there's that. But with the what's that?
Yay!
Oh, okay. I didn't know. So let's see. They also had a little bit of a flashback going back to Fairy Tale Land that shows the Queens of Darkness, Cruella, Ursula, and Maleficent being called together in Maleficent's castle, and they're all being really sinister and snarky to each other, and it's glorious, it's wonderful, and it's like they call them the mean Queens of Darkness on Tumblr, or the Mean Girls of Darkness.
Yeah.
Kind of fun. But Rumple's called them together to have some sort of plot, and this is sort of the and so the whole thing is like they're gonna try to get the villains to have their happy ending is kind of the point of this whole second half of the season. So between the author and Regina trying to figure out her happy ending, these other villains want to come in and get their happy ending, and that's kind of where we start out with, and so back in Storybrooke, we see Emma is she's still sheriffing, and her relationship with Hook is going quite well because he's meeting her and bringing her morning coffee and walking her to work. She walks him to the library.
Mm-hmm.
They are. I love it. I love it to pieces. It's just my favorite thing in the world. And they're just. It's just normal. And they hold hands. They give each other a little kiss and good morning. And I love it. Anyway, and then at the same time, because they've been trying, because Hook has kind of made friends with Belle, which is kind of an interesting combination, especially since he tried to kill her at one point, a couple seasons ago.
I'm liking that friendship.
But it's kind of, it's a very different dynamic, especially because Belle hasn't really had any friends or really known anyone in Storybrooke outside of Rumple, and Hook doesn't really like he's friends with David and he's got Emma obviously, but that's kind of it. There's no real connection to anyone else, where everybody else kind of has their own little thing going on. So it's kind of interesting to have these two relative outsiders kind of forging that friendship, and plus they both have a shared experience of being lied to and betrayed and screwed over by Rumpelstiltskin.
Yep.
And so they kind of commiserate over that as well, and they're also trying to figure out a way how to get the fairies out of the hat, because Hook was forced to trap them in the hat, and he's feeling guilty about that because he feels like the scum of the earth, and I'm just like, oh, Hook, come here, I need to give you a hug. Because you're not terrible and you're not awful. You're the exact opposite, even though you just totally hate yourself right now, but it's okay. Go back to Emma and she'll kiss it better. But there's some really good lines in that scene where Hook is like, if we have to depend on that magic box for answers, we're in bad shape.
It's called the internet.
And like, it's called the internet, but they have like this gigantic monitor, computer monitors. So I'm like, there's parts of Storybrooke that are still stuck like 20 years in the past.
Well,
and
the computer that Rumple was working on in Ursula's apartment wasn't any better either.
That's true. He was still like using AOL or something.
Yeah.
Because So yeah, there's that scene with Rumple and Ursula in New York, and Rumple's basically been crashing.
Yeah, crashing on Ursula's couch.
Eating and eating all her top ramen, and it's funny watching Rumple microwave noodles. And,
I was and the way he was dressed. Robert Carlyle had played kind of a snarky character in Stargate Universe by the name of Rush, and just the kind of the robe and the shirt that he was wearing was like, wait a minute, am I watching a Stargate Universe episode with the snark? I'm like, wait a minute, no, it's Rumpelstiltskin. Okay.
But he was. They were both pretty snarky toward each other because Ursula's just like, is like, let you in my house, let you eat my food, and Rumple's like, so giving me nourishment, by giving me reheatable noodles.
Mm-hmm. It's some sort of
reheatable
cutout.
Sorry.
Reheatable noodles.
And it would charitably be called shelter.
Yeah.
The sass between Rumple and Ursula, and then you put Cruella back in the mix, and it's just you're holding your sides because you're laughing so hard.
You really are. Like they go pick Cruella up, and she is like her husband is getting carted off by the FBI. We don't really spend much time with, but basically her life is falling apart. And she like snatches one fur coat from what they're taking away. She's like, "This was mine before." And oh my gosh, Victoria Smurfit as Cruella. I don't know much about Victoria Smurfit outside of Once Upon a Time. Actually, I don't know anything about her. Holy crap, she's amazing. I love her already.
Yep. Well, just her calling Rumple short stuff. I think she'd be the only one to get away with it.
Yeah, I mean she. And that's the thing is when they said Cruella was going to be in with the Queens of Darkness, everyone said, well, she's not magic, but they give her a magic ability, and that is to control animals, as best I can tell. They really haven't done a whole lot there, but I'm waiting for the Cruella-centric episode, which I'm sure is coming up at some point, to explore that more. Yeah, well, there's one that's called Sympathy for the Deville. I can't remember which number it is, but I remember that episode title being released, so there it is. And and she's got the car, and she's got the fur coat, and she's got the two-tone hair and the eyebrows, and she's just perfect. So they're driving to Storybrooke, minus a short pit stop for drive-through.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting drive-through chicken.
Yeah, and that reminded me pouting all the way.
It reminded me of that Trek 2.
Girl, it's like I'll have a number 2 like cluck meal or something, or
the cluck thing. I guess it's
Ursula's all like, make it too. Like, Rumple, you want anything? He's like, no.
Like, no thanks, I want to live to see my happy ending. So like this whole time they're in the car and they're discussing sinister villainy things, like, we've got to find the author, and this is how we're gonna find him, and all these things, and then it stops, and they're like, we're here we are, and they get up to the drive-up window.
Have a cluckety cluck day.
It was just, I think, everything. I mean, I expected to see all the good Captain Swan stuff. I expected to see the Queens of Darkness. I expected to see Emma and Regina teaming up to find the author, Henry doing his bit with that. But I did not expect to see the villains go for drive-through, and I was just like, this show, you guys.
Yeah.
This is what this show. This show. What more can you say, right? Right.
Well, that and the top ramen, that had me giggling. It's like, okay.
It's just funny to see, like, you realize these are fairy tale characters. These are, Ursula is this evil sea witch, and Cruella went after puppies, and Rumpelstiltskin, we all know what his deal is. And you just see him in these mundane, everyday things. And I mean, that's basically the show, is fairy tale characters in the everyday world. the way that they manage to do it all the time is just so fun. They do have a lot of fun with it, and that's one thing I love about this show. So, but anyway, but with the flashbacks, it's Rumple and the Queens of Darkness. So this quest to find whatever he's after is at one instance showcasing what the Queens of Darkness are capable of, like their magic abilities. And then when they get to where they're going to find whatever it is they're looking for, it's the dark curse, and Rumple takes it and takes off, and he leaves them to be eaten by the Chernabog, which, if you've seen Fantasia, is the great big. I don't know if it's supposed to be a personification of Satan or if it's just a monster or whatever.
No, and as far as mythology is concerned, the Chernabog is like the embodiment of pure evil and like the devil and Satan. Like everything that is evil is personified by the Chernabog. And Walt, even when they made Fantasia, that Walt Disney said this is like one of the like most evil creatures that he's ever like put into a movie and will probably ever put into a movie. So there's a series, not to get on a complete side tangent, but there's a series of books called The Kingdom Keepers. And it's all and it's all based on, it's the story of these kids that are able to get into the Disney parks at night due to some like it's complicated. They got hired by Disney to be like in park like personalities, but they're projections. But when they go to sleep, they're able to use like the projections to go into the parks, and they're supposed to fight all the evil villains because all of the Disney characters are actually real. But during the day, they're all hidden away from the public, but they've decided that the villains, it's their time to try and come and take over and steal all the magic that actually exists and take over the world. And Maleficent is like their ringleader, but Chernabog is like the muscle because he is so evil and just awful. So yeah, he's an obscure character if you haven't seen Fantasia, but if you've seen Fantasia and you've seen the sequence Night on Bald Mountain, you've at least seen the character, even if you don't want to know what his name is. But it's the Chernabog is what it is. So yeah, sorry, tangent.
So
get your Disney expert over here.
Hey, that's why we have you around.
Yeah, that's why I was hired.
But that actually makes sense because this Chernabog, the point of him is that he devours the heart that is the most capable of the most darkness and the most evil. So in the flashback, he fixates on Maleficent and goes after her, but Cruella and Ursula save her, and they all decide, oh, Rumple, we hate him, we're going to take revenge, but because of the curse, they don't get to do that, is basically what I get. But the Chernabog shows up in Storybrooke. Oh, wait, back up, hold on. It shows up because it was in the hat, so they figure out a way to get the fairies out, and so Regina does the spell, and she's got the dagger, which was required for reasons, and so they let the fairies out, so they're all okay, Hook, you don't have to worry about feeling all guilty and angsty and stuff, it's okay. But then they also, so while they're all celebrating, yay, we got the fairies out, they turn their back on the hat, and there's like this black smoky thing comes out, and it manifests itself as the Chernabog, and it starts terrorizing Storybrooke, and Emma and Regina stop it, but all they do is kind of scare it off, sort of what happened with Marshmallow in the season premiere back with Frozen, and it just flies off to...
even before the Chernabog makes his appearance, they talk to Blue about the author.
Yeah. Because they say, and so, what did they say? I can't remember.
Well, basically, she kind of heard, but she wasn't giving too much, so I don't know how much just the way she was looking, I don't know if she knows more than she's wanting to let on.
which is par for the course with her.
Yeah, because I had my notes. She's looking rather shifty. Could she be the author, or does she know the author and there's more trouble?
Yeah. Yeah, because they bring up the sorcerer, and they think, the sorcerer is the author, and she says, no, they're two different people. So the sorcerer is not the author, which is like, well, there goes my Walt Disney theory, but I'm still holding on to it tenuously because it would be so awesome. So they get that information out of Blue, and Regina's like, oh, another dead end. And Emma's like, team charming, hopeful pep talk alert, and she does that, and it's good. And then so that's when the Chernobog comes out, and they defeat it. Well, they basically just kind of scare it off, and so they get the idea to force the Chernobog over the town line, because if you go past the town line, there is no magic, and because it's a magic creature, it'll disappear. Mm-hmm. So they get in. So Regina and Emma get in Emma's bug, and they, make the Chernobog chase them, because they figure Regina is the one that has, is that it's after, because she has the most darkness in her heart. And they actually get a phone call, because Cruella and Ursula and Rumple show up at the town line, but they can't get into town because nobody is there to, it's not there. They can't see it because they're on the other side. But they have the Snow Queen scroll, and that'll let them in. And so Ursula and Cruella call Regina on Rumple's phone, and Regina's like, oh, it's you two. Why do you have the Dark One's phone? And they're like, oh, we stole it from him, basically. But Rumple he's in the car with them. And they're like, oh, we've changed. We're better. We're reformed. We want forgiveness, blah, 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 even though this is just a ploy to get into Storybrooke. Yeah. But again, Emma, Team Charming, Hope Incorporated. We have to give everyone a second chance, and rainbows and puppies. So Regina says, okay. So they actually give them the information about the Chernobog, and how to defeat it, or what it's looking for. And so that's where they get the idea that, let's force it over the town line, and then we'll give Cruella and Ursula the Snow Queen scroll and let them in the town, because yay. Because we need to have conflict, because everything's just been so quiet.
Yeah.
In fact, it's been so quiet we haven't seen Prince Charming at all in this episode so far. So,
my dad.
So Regina and Emma.
We were watching.
Yeah, I think I tweeted that out because I was watching it, and I was kind of tweeting along and going, And then he finally does show up, because there's a moment where Snow and Charming find out that Ursula and Cruella are in town, and they all freak out because of something that happened in the past. And I'm just like, oh, hey, Charming, nice of you to join the story. Like, he wasn't even in the little 6 weeks later happy Storybrooke things going on. I don't know where he was. Just taking care of the baby, I guess. We'll say that. So, anyway, Emma and Regina get the Chernobog across the town line. He flies, he's going after Regina. He overcompensates, and she ducks, and he flies over the line and poofs into smoke. And they see Ursula and Cruella, and they're like, are we good? We good about this? Are we sure about this? And they're like, yeah. So they throw them the scroll, and they're able to get into town, and they kind of wave them in, and they're like, and Snow and Charming have joined them by then, and like, oh, I don't know about this, but they're like, whatever, we're giving him a second chance. And then later, Ursula and Cruella go back to the town line and give Rumple the scroll, which begs the question, why didn't they take the scroll back from them when they first got back across the line? But whatever. So Rumple is back in town.
And getting the band back together line shows up.
Getting the band back together. And so Rumple is back in his nice suit. He doesn't need a cane anymore. He's got his magic back. He's ditched the hobo look. And he's So he's tasked Ursula and Cruella with insinuating themselves into the good graces of the heroes, while he does all his dirty work behind the scenes, which apparently he's already been doing because he translated the spell for Belle to, yeah. Which I'm just like, can't you just leave her alone?
Exactly.
He was the professor that translated the thing. Oh, I'm so tired of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he drops this bombshell that the Chernobog was not necessarily after Regina, but that he was after Emma.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sort of a setup of...
Say what?
Okay. Like how, yeah, product of true love, savior, strongest purveyor of life magic, how can she have the most capacity for darkness? Which I guess says something about Regina's character arc of, oh, so she's no longer the evil queen, she's actually is reformed and awesome, and that's good, and trying to do good things. So there's that. And then the bombshells keep coming because what's his name? Rumple is looking in his shop and he sees Belle because she's still running the pawn shop.
Mm-hmm.
I guess as sort of a side thing. And
wait a minute, was that at the end of episode 2?
Oh no, that was in episode 2. Sorry, just kidding.
Yep.
That's what happens when you have 2 weeks worth of stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. But oh yeah, so the big bombshell in that one was Emma has the most capacity for darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of saw from the promos that she could turn evil if she so chose.
Yep.
So,
A little bit.
episode 1, they've set up a lot of good things. Some stuff I'm a little iffy on so far, still, but I think they can pull it out.
Yeah. Episode 2 is more. I mean, we can talk about it, but I mean, it's more plot development more than anything. There really isn't any action.
No,
in episode 2,
but they do. Yeah, in episode 2, and this kind of disheartened me a little bit. Because last season, they had this whole thing with Peter Pan where there was this big mystery around him, and he's this terrible monster, and oh my gosh, he's done unspeakable things, but we never see it happen. In fact, the big bombshell about him is that he is Rumpelstiltskin's father, and it's like, and the way that, in my opinion, I don't know how other people feel about this, I thought it was kind of a letdown. I was like, you built it up and built it up and built it up, and this was your reveal? Seriously? I was very disappointed. In fact, the episode where they revealed it was just, ugh, I hate it. Ugh. It's not my favorite episode ever. And in episode 14, I guess, 13, Unforgiven, the one we just had last week, because it was about, the flashbacks were about Snow and Charming, and they keep talking about, oh, we did something to Maleficent and it was horrible and she's going to come after us and kill us for it. And there's this big secret that we have to keep from Emma. And I'm like, if you guys drag this secret out and it turns out to be a Peter Pan secret, I'm going to come after you with a stick. Because I'm like, please don't hype this up to something and then make it just really stupid.
Well, I thought it was
like,
kind
I love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
Oh, I thought it was kind of interesting that the person that Mary Margaret went to was Regina. Saying, like, I know I haven't been good at keeping secrets, but I need you to keep this one for me. It's like,
And the secret is because they found out in their flashback, because they found out in the flashback they were going to have a baby, and that was Emma, and that she has the capacity for either great good or great evil, and I'm just kind of like, well, so does every mortal person on this planet. Everyone has their ability to choose. Tell me something I don't know. So far, I'm a little hesitant on where this is going, personally. I mean, you guys chime in here with how you feel about it. But it could go either way.
Yeah. Well, with what we find out later on in episode 2, I'm just kind of wondering for something that might not be a reveal later on. I mean, I could be way off, and I know it's been posted on Tumblr, but I'm just wondering about Lily from earlier in season 4A, if she doesn't have anything to do with the secret that got revealed in this ep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Emma still doesn't know.
Right.
And, you know, Snow tells Regina that Emma can't find out because she's just learning to open up her heart, and she has this really good relationship with Hook. Oh, and there's some lovely, heartbreaking scenes between those two.
Mm-hmm.
I just, yeah.
Part of me wanted to, like, as Snow is giving this, like, long, eloquent explanation to Regina at night in the rain, out in the park, out in the woods, because that's where you do this sort of thing.
This is where you reveal vital plot information.
Yeah, let's say part of me wanted to be like, Snow, you're not giving your daughter enough credit, but then you see how easily Emma got hurt when Hook didn't want to talk about his past with Ursula.
Mm-hmm.
That Snow was right. You know, that Emma like, part of me is all like, she's your daughter. I mean, if you explain it to her what happened, then maybe she may understand. But then you see Emma get so ticked off at Hook because she's pressing him for information, and it's obvious he's uncomfortable and is not ready to talk, and she keeps pushing him. So it's like, it's frustrating because it's like, I see you wanting to protect Emma's feelings, but like Emma's feelings got hurt with the thing with Hook because she was pushing him and not letting it go. If Emma would just not be so persistent and let people come open up in their own time, then maybe her feelings wouldn't get so hurt.
Yeah. Well, and then there was that scene later where she does call Hook back and say, look, you're not telling me something, and I understand, but then she says, like, but you can tell me in your own time, because she realizes that about herself, that, you know, she pushes people away when she thinks that they're lying to her or keeping secrets, and she doesn't, and she did that with her parents earlier in the episode because, well, they were keeping something from her, and she was, and she said that, like, she realized that she was thinking about her parents who haven't lied to her in her mind that she knows about, which makes this all the more terrible. It's like and she says to him, like, I have this tendency to push people away and to think the worst of them, but I don't want to do that with you. I'm paraphrasing. I don't want to do that with you. I want to be better. And so you can tell me in your own time and I won't be mad or offended or whatever. And so it's like, okay, yes, Emma, you are learning how to open up your heart and how to trust people, even, you know, when they have something terrible that they don't want to talk about quite yet. But at the same time, the reason that you realize this is because you thought your parents were lying to you and you don't believe that they could lie to you, but they were actually lying to you. So it kind of makes this all a real big cycle of horribleness. And the only one that has nothing to do with this whole big cycle of horribleness is Hook, because he has never lied to Emma. He may have kept secrets from her because he has his own problems to deal with. Like, he's very much, I can handle it myself. I need to handle it myself. I can't let anybody I care about get involved in this, otherwise they will get hurt, and I don't want that. And I think that's kind of what he's like, I have to fix this myself. That happened with the Zelina curse. It happened with Rumple. That he doesn't feel like he can talk to anybody. And I feel like with this episode, that's coming up next week, I think, it's going to find out what happened with Ursula and Hook. I think that might have something to do with it. I hope it does, because I would just be all over that. Be awesome. And so I think with this thing with Hook is, like, you realize that he has his issues he's got to deal with, as well as Emma's got her issues she's got to deal with. And so, so whatever Snow and Charming did, that they have to keep from Emma, oh boy, this is going to be a doozy. It's like, you guys screw up and your daughter has to pay the price for it. And it's just like, ah!
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, and then one of my notes was when Cruella and Ursula went into the pawn shop to, quote unquote, check on Belle and then keep her busy while one of Ursula's tentacles, guess whatever Rumple needed her to grab, Belle had mentioned something about Cruella and Ursula kidnapping.
You're gonna kidnap me again?
Yeah, I'm just thinking in my notes. I'm like, is there any only baddie minus Selena that hasn't kidnapped Belle yet? I mean, Pan hasn't, but still.
He did threat. Well, he wanted Rumple to go back and be with Belle and have a family and get out of his domain. That was his only thing.
I think he did threaten to kill Belle when Pan made it back to the town. Storybrooke. So it's just like, come on, give her a break.
I know. I'm like, Belle needs her own storyline. She needs her own life away from Rumple and all the crap that he's put her through. And I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. I sure hope it does.
Me too.
Because I want Belle to be her own character and, to have her own thing going on. Which, again, this is why I like the fact that she and Hook are kind of becoming friends and working together. And, she's doing her own thing a little bit.
Yeah. And props to Granny, too.
Oh,
just
yes!
ignoring them in the... Joe and Ursula at the diner.
That was the best. Because everybody is so uncomfortable with Cruella and Ursula being in town, and Granny just does not give a crap.
And then
she just totally ignores
them. In and she's just like, oh, the usual? 2 coffees. Here you go.
No, that was Will.
Or that was Will. Oh,
that was Will that walked.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Although I'm sure she does for Hook, too, because apparently Hook gets Emma coffee every morning.
Yep.
So that was the one with Will getting coffee, and he's got 2 coffees. And later in the episode, we find out that's the one where Rumple's looking at the pawn shop window, and he's watching Belle kind of work around in the shop, and then he sees Will come in, and Will and Belle kiss, and so apparently Belle has moved on with her life as well. She should, if that's what she wants to do it.
Yeah, I was kind of letting out a little bit of a cheer.
I was too. I was like, I knew it.
I was a little surprised, but I have in my notes. But if it happens, it happens. Rumple, no one to blame but yourself, buddy.
I have a friend who was not happy with that scene.
Well, the thing is Will had Anastasia. If you've watched Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, he was in love with her, and they were together at the end of that. But we still don't know what happened to her, and we have been told that they're going to talk about that at some point.
Because that's one of my questions for future eps. Like, where is she?
Well,
what happened to her?
My biggest question with this whole Belle Will Scarlet thing is, did Belle somehow get her marriage to Rumple annulled when he got kicked out, or what? Because as far as we know, she's still legally married to him, right?
Well, they're separate.
We got to remember who married him, Archie.
Well, I would like to think that it was a legally binding marriage. I would like to think.
Storybrooke does have its own set of rules, and I think finding out that your husband is a murderous, psychotic
is grounds for an annulment.
Yes, I think so.
Well, probably.
I think the registrar at the Storybrooke courthouse would be okay with that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Separated people do stuff like that, don't they?
Well, yeah, but it's just that's one of the first things I thought of was like, wait, isn't she still legally married to Rumple? But now that you say, it's like, I guess that would be grounds for an annulment. So,
yeah, where your husband is the Dark One and he's trying to take over the world. Yeah. And the only reason he didn't is because you forced him to. Yeah. You forced him out of town.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rumple has not redeemed himself at all. I don't care if he's like looking at Belle with the sad puppy dog eyes and like, oh, I miss her, and it's like, that's your own fault, buddy.
Yeah, it is going to be a lot to gain back, and I don't know if he's gonna.
Yeah.
He's long.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, like I said. Well, I don't know if I said it on the podcast. I know I said it on my blog at some point last half season. Was that in the hierarchy of stable ships on Once Upon a Time, Rumple is in the basement, even below Outlaw Queen, who at the time I was writing about this was in a love triangle with a frozen human popsicle. So that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, with Outlaw Queen, with Regina and Robin, they are. They're separated by distance, not by choice, but because it had to happen, and so. And Regina's still trying to find a way back a way for Robin to come back, or for her to be with Robin Hood. So it's like we shall see. So there is hope there's hope on the horizon for that ship. So that one don't count them out just yet.
Yeah. But
yeah, I don't know. Rumple and Belle. I know they're supposed to be the Beauty and the Beast thing, but I wouldn't complain if they took a few liberties with the canon in that way. I mean, Captain Hook never had a love interest, to my knowledge, that I know of, out in the traditional Peter Pan story. But
I don't think we could
shoot, I'm seeing
Lily.
Heck, Captain Hook was even a good guy in the original story.
No. But I mean, in Once Upon a Time and in that other book I read, people have been, scrambling to make him a little bit more romantic. So I'm not complaining about it at all. So they can the Once Upon a Time writers' room. They can play around with the characters all they want. This is glorified fanfic, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it's at. Yeah.
The ships are all over the place.
Yes. And I guess as long as they keep Snow White and Prince Charming together, which that's always going to be there.
Well, considering with this particular storyline, they're on the same page, and they share the secret, and it's not one holding out on the other.
Right.
Then the Charmings are a united front at the moment.
They have been the most stalwart couple since the beginning. Well, since the end of season 1. Yeah. We'll put it that way. And if they were ever to separate, there would be mutiny in the streets. No matter how much Cruella flirts with Charming, calls him Chisel Chin.
Yep.
That was so much the best.
If for anything else, the one-liners that are coming out of the Queens of Darkness is worth every second of screen time, especially Cruella.
Because I even want to see her stick around some more.
Yeah.
Yeah, or come back.
Yeah. You either defeat them or find a way to redeem Cruella, but keep the personality, the sassy personality. It would be awesome.
Well, they did it with the Evil Queen because Regina she's got the Evil Queen sass still, but she's not the Evil Queen. She's not the villain. In fact, there's in one of these episodes, I can't remember which one, Hook calls her the Evil Queen, and she goes, "Can we not say the E word?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the first episode.
It was the first one. So she is very much she's in the hero camp. As of what I know right now, I still haven't seen tonight's episode, which apparently she's trying to worm her way back into the Queens of Darkness's.
She's going undercover.
Good graces. going undercover, which they did resurrect Maleficent in this episode.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was kind of a convoluted way in which they did it, but the fact is they did it, so.
Yeah. And then my thing is how many more people will be returning from the dead this season?
Well, Rebecca Mader's coming back.
And also Barbara Hershey.
Yes.
So at least a couple.
I'm not thrilled to see Cora back. Yeah, I'm not thrilled to see Cora back, although I am happy that Zelina is going to be back, because I loved her.
Yeah.
The Wicked Witch, I think, is my... Zelina was awesome.
Good for, but then Cora, I'm just like, oh, goody.
You know, I'm gonna tell you exactly what Cora's thing is gonna be. It's gonna be in flashback. At least I hope it's gonna be in flashback. Please be in flashback. Yes. It's gonna be staring at Regina. Regina is no good. You have to be queen and do your best dark magic, and you suck pie. That's all she's gonna do, because that's all she's ever done before. I mean, she was good for the storyline she was in, don't get me wrong. I'm just done with her.
Yeah.
As I am done with a lot of this pre-Dark Curse Enchanted Forest stuff.
We've gotten so much Evil Queen Regina backstory. I'm like, how much more can there be?
Yeah, Evil Queen and Rumpelstiltskin. I'm like, can we do something different, please? That's why I like the Frozen arc, because we had backstory with Frozen characters with somebody new, and when they did interact with the people that we know, it was like charming, and it was Belle, and even the one with Rumple and Anna, it was like, this is interesting. You're giving me something different. You're giving me... It wasn't the Snow versus Regina rivalry that we have seen ad nauseum over and over again, and just like, please, can we move on from this? We've had a whole season. All of season 1 was dedicated to this. Like, I recently rewatched season 1, and I was just like, oh, I'm so glad that this is over. Wait, we keep going back to this. Dang it!
Yeah.
And part of me is like, why, we can't have any more Hook backstory, but we can play the crap out of Regina's angst and drama of her childhood. Come on. It's like, you guys have to have some better ideas than this. Like, I know fanfic writers who've written full novel-length stories about Hook's backstory. Why can't you get some of that action? Anyway. But these are minor quibbles.
Well, I like this.
So far,
Oh, finish up.
No, I was done.
Okay. I like that conversation that Regina had with Geppetto.
Yes, that was
Where
nice.
she apologizes for her brashness, and she's just like, yeah, I can, because with Henry and all that, and then Geppetto giving her August motorcycle saddlebag. I'm just like, cool.
Yeah, that was a really good. That was a good moment, like because they set it up with little Pinocchio, and what did he remember of the book and being an adult, and he just doesn't remember any of it. And Regina gets upset, and I like that we brought back Geppetto and we brought back some of these other characters that we've kind of forgotten a little bit about. But these are people that Regina, she affected their lives with the Dark Curse. And to get another perspective on that, and then to see her go back and apologize to him that she was so harsh to his son, and that she would, that she understands why he yelled at her for what she said to his little boy. And so it's like, okay, you've gotten the charming's forgiveness and everything, but you still have a lot of other people that you need to apologize to, and for the things you've done, and she still hasn't fully been forgiven by everybody, but she's getting there slowly but surely, and I think that this is another step in that direction, because not everybody trusts her, and I like that they're exploring that. That's what I, when I say I'm tired of the Evil Queen, it's like, I want to see, because I've seen all this progression with Regina. It's like, I want to see that progression continue. I don't want to go back and look at what we've already gone over and over and over before. I want to see her be happy and be one of the good guys, That's why I missed Robin Hood, because I love it when those two were together, and that, you know, he believes in her and he sees the good in her, and he can kind of show
Get her
that to
out of
her
that
when
funk.
she's not. Yeah, when she's still feeling like, oh, I'm the evil queen, I've done all these terrible things. And he says, and he's, you know, last season, in that one episode, he said, I don't see evil, you know, I see bold and audacious, but not evil.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like, oh, that is perfect. That is exactly what she needs.
Mhm.
And that's why I like, that's one of the things I like about Robin Hood in this. And I want him to come back.
Mhm.
Oh, once upon a
Anyway.
time.
Mhm.
Oh, so many storylines, so many good storylines. Some lackluster, but mostly very good. Yeah. So anyway, that's our rehash of that this week, and someone else has something they want to chime in with.
Oh, did we mention what the big secret was? That
Oh yeah, with Maleficent.
yeah.
Maleficent was going to have a baby,
Yep.
and somehow or other the baby got lost.
Yeah.
And it's because of Snow and Charming.
Yeah. As soon as we saw the one flashback to the Enchanted Forest when Maleficent pops into Snow and Charming's bedroom in the middle of the night, and as soon as Maleficent said, "You and I are both going to be mothers soon," I'm like, oh, she lost her kid, and somehow they're responsible. Like, I knew what Snow was going to say way before she got to the end of her little speech with Regina and told her that because of them, Maleficent lost her child. So.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of talking about with their reveals. It's like, okay, they have these great big bombshells they need to drop. They need to work on keeping suspense, because some of the suspense is like, yeah, we already know.
Mm-hmm.
We figured that out, 10 pages ago. Where the heck were you? I mean, it's a good plot twist, and it's a good reveal. So we'll see if they can keep it up and see where it goes. And maybe tonight's episode has dealt with that, and in some way, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we shall find out. Oh.
Yep.
But
so
the Charmings have some deep, dark secret that we now know, and now we're gonna find out how exactly it all played out.
How and why, and hopefully the suspense is worth, hopefully the reveal is worth the suspense, because I'm a little iffy on that right now, but we'll see. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, because they have been doing very well in it since the Neverland arc was kind of a flop. But the Wicked Witch arc was really good. The Frozen arc was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying Queens of Darkness so far, so we will see.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up, or start to. Just a reminder, you can find all our contact info at the 5-inch Fangirls podcast.blogspot.com. We're on Twitter and Tumblr and Facebook, and all those links are on our website, on YouTube as well.
And we're now on Instagram.
Follow us. Oh yes, Instagram.
Thanks to Brittany.
Same thing, 5-ish Fangirls.
I don't think we posted anything on Instagram yet. Or is it still blank?
Follow us there. We'll start posting something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Support us on Patreon, if you will.
Yeah, I know you made it out of boredom, but we should probably post something now that we have it. So.
You know what? We can post stuff there out of boredom.
Yeah.
You can put comic pictures. You can put memes. Yeah, you can put memes up. You can post links to our the blog or our iTunes feed, which are on iTunes as well. Review us, subscribe if you feel so inclined.
Mm-hmm.
We're all over the social media scene, so make sure. And a lot of stuff we miss talking about in news, we post on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
If we think of it. But we're there, and so follow us wherever. The Traveling the Vortex book club is still going strong. Reminder, it is Silhouette this month by Justin Richards is the book we're reading.
Mm-hmm.
And the photo challenge is still continuing.
Yep, the
ABCs of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So keep up with that. And that's all I can think of to plug right now.
At the moment.
Next week, yeah. Next week, Rachel will be talking about her experiences at Indiana Comic Con. So, that's right?
Yep. So,
yep. So if you were there,
be prepared.
if you were there and you want to chime in with your experiences, please send us some feedback about that.
Mm-hmm.
Send us some feedback about Once Upon a Time, about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., anything we've talked about previously, Doctor Who, Disney, whatever you want to discuss with us, we will read it out. Or if you just want to say hi, that's cool too.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Yep.
What's going on? It's been
kind of quiet.
Weekend.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because we've all been off doing stuff. Like going to conventions.
March Madness is starting this week. So.
That's
the other thing I was going to talk about, only because it's been on Tumblr. The Entertainment Weekly Online top TV couples. If you're on Tumblr and the final two are up, and it's Hook and Emma versus something from Vampire Diaries that I don't watch. Those are the final two. That's the only reason I'm mentioning this, because I got into a big. I got roped into the voting during the Elite Eight because Captain Swan was like practically tied with Oliver and Felicity from Arrow, and while I love Oliver and Felicity,
Captain Swan.
I gotta go with my heart, and it's got to be Captain Swan. Yeah. So we were we were behind for most of the thing, and then like we came back at the very end to win it. So and then I think we today we just defeated someone from Glee. I don't remember. I don't watch Glee. No offense to the Glee people, but I don't watch it. So
if I had to say, I haven't looked. I didn't know about this, but if I had to guess, it was probably Klain. It was Kurt and Blaine would be my guess.
I think you're right. I think that sounds right.
That's like the ship.
My focus was I got to make sure Hook and Emma get through. I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
So no hard feelings. I got to go with my ship.
Yep.
Yep. So that's going on, and I think the championship round voting starts tomorrow. So if you are inclined to vote for Captain Swan, please do so, and vote as many times as you can, because you can vote multiple times, and every vote helps.
Yep.
So, and the winning ship gets an interview with the actors that play their ship. So those are fun.
Cool.
Anyway. I'm done. I'm done blabbing.
That's our equivalent of sports. Shipping brackets.
Hey! March Madness is starting this week, and the Utes just got announced that they're going to their number 5 seed in their bracket. Cool. They're playing SF Austin this on Thursday. So yay! Go University of Utah!
Yep.
Yay! Sports. Just kidding.
So I'll be all over that this week as well. I hope. I think. It's been working. Anyway.
Alrighty. Well, with that. Nope. Go ahead.
Can I give a quick shout out to Sean, whose birthday is today?
Oh yes! Happy birthday to Sean!
Yes! Happy birthday, Sean!
He's not hearing this because he's currently at the movies watching Wrath of Khan.
Yes. They've been at Planet Comic Con all weekend. It's been Con-palooza this week.
Yes.
I think I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah. So if you need your con fix and can't wait for my report next week, listen to Traveling the Vortex with the guys. We'll have their Planet Comic Con report from this weekend.
Yeah. Yes.
So
yes.
You'll get con reports for the next 2 weeks.
They got to interview Caitlin Blackwood, and Karen Gillan apparently showed up at that panel. So, which that was a big surprise.
Hey, Karen's got to support her little cousin, who's not so little anymore. She's grown up. So.
Yeah, she is. I was like, because when we were doing Friday Night Who, and we're doing 11th Hour, and you see cute little Amelia Pond, and I was like, I bet Caitlin Blackwood's a lot taller by now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing a little bit. One of them took I forgot. I think it was Keith. He took the set of take a like a sideways of both, and she almost was like Karen in that picture. I was like, hey, is that Karen? You're like, wait, no, that's not the same outside photo. Apparently, I don't know. I was trying to picture this because one second she looks exactly like Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And Karen's hair's growing out.
Yep. Which is good.
Until she has to go make Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then she'll probably have to shave it off again.
Yeah.
In a couple of years.
And she'll do it too.
Oh yeah, she will. She doesn't care.
But she
rocks it.
Yeah, her short hair looks really nice. It looks really good. Yeah. So mad props to those who do short hair. Mine would just look like an afro if I cut mine short because it's so dang curly.
Yeah. All right.
Like in the 70s. Anyway, better get going.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're rambling.
Yeah. We're getting to that point.
Anyway. Well, signing off.
Yeah, well, we'll sign off for this week.
This is Brittany in Fort Pierce saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is Sarah from Wisconsin saying good evening.
Rich saying goodnight from Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Have a cluckety-cluck night, everyone! Have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by their respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.